I have actually failed to understand what he said about the money. The Vice President is dealing with matters emerging, because the matter of the National Council of Sports is a matter that emerged during the debate. The specific issue of this motion is to congratulate the team. The second leg of this motion is to provide money for the team to go and participate. So the procedural issue I'm raising, Madam Speaker, is whether the two senior government officials should hide under generalities and avoid addressing the specific issues of the motion of facilitating a team to go and participate in this tournament. Madam Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Sports, standing in for sports, for education. One, we need, first of all, because what I am told, they were told to borrow money by National Council of Sports. We need that money to be refunded through National Council of Sports. Then in the next budget, we also need to improve on the funding of sports, so that we don't have these scenarios of every time when members are going out, they go and do the borrowing of the money, or they start running to the president. We need to improve on the funding for the whole sporting discipline. We need the money that was borrowed by the Federation of the FEBA to be refunded.
Thank you very much, Madam.
And then we need the law as soon as possible. The law which has been talked by the Vice President, we need that law to be presented to this House.
Speaker, I think the most important thing is that we need 177,359 to enable our team to go and participate in the forthcoming tournament. And that is very, very important and very urgent. We should not bury our heads in the sand that it is because of COVID, because other countries are participating and they are also faced with COVID. So it's important for Uganda that we must send our team, and we need immediately 177,359. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister, you've heard the team is still to go out, so the team needs to be facilitated.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. For us as government, this side we work as a team. And I want to assure you that very soon the law will be presented before Parliament. And as my senior His Excellency the Vice President said, that law will address quite a number of issues, challenges we have in the sports sector. About the need for more funding to the sector, and particularly for these teams, I've taken note, Madam Speaker, and I said, and I'm saying, that when budgeting period comes, we'll take care of all the issues that have been raised in Parliament today. But as for whether we'll be able to give money now, Madam Speaker, I said that's a budgetary matter. The budget was appropriate, money we are utilizing now was appropriated by Parliament. That's why I said I'll go back to the ministry, look through, and get back to you, Madam Speaker, later. I submit.
Honorable Minister, can you get back to the House on Tuesday on the issue whether the team is going out or not?
Most obliged, Madam Speaker.
Members, you've heard the debate, and virtually almost the whole House has seconded the motion. I now put the question on the motion for a resolution of Parliament to congratulate the men's national basketball team, Silverbacks, and under 16 boys and girls national basketball team. With those in favor, say aye. And the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Congratulations. Members, we are mindful of the time, the Prime Minister's time of 4. But we have at least 4 burning issues that we need a Prime Minister to capture from matters of national importance. After at least 4 members, 4 or 5 members, then we go to Prime Minister's time. Honorable Kwizera. Honorable Kwizera Eddie.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable members, my name is Kwizera Eddie. I have the original voice of the Chimbiri County in Kisoro District. I stand here to raise issues of national importance, and they are in 2 parts. How do Uganda manage its foreign policy, and as to whether even the East African Community Treaty is still relevant to the prevailing conditions. Madam Right Honorable Speaker, our national policy, foreign policy, is guided by newspapers and is guided by the bloggers and the press. So when some issues have happened between some states, some of these states react differently, and you find that we are being endangered. I wish to thank His Excellency the President for the efforts he has been putting in the regional integration. But the regional integration, if you check the treaty which is here, you find that the regional integration is number 4, and none of the core items has successfully been implemented. It was supposed to start with customs union, it was supposed to be followed by common market, and was supposed to have monetary union, followed by the political federation. None of the 3 has been successfully implemented. And these are 22 years of the existence of the East African Treaty. So we don't know as to whether this thing is still relevant now, or if government can come here and tell us what is it now. Because now when you go to some of these countries, say between Rwanda and Uganda, there are no movements. The people I represent in Kisoro cannot move from between the borders. But what is very unfortunate is those who are very rich can move from Kigali by air and come to Entebbe. So why is it that if Kigali cannot allow us under foreign policy and diplomacy to move between our borders and trade normally, even the way we used to do it before the formation of East African Community? Why is it that we allow planes to land in Entebbe or take off from Entebbe and go to Kigali? The people I represent deserve an answer. Secondly, you find that because of the close of the borders, which has not only affected Uganda and Rwanda, the same has applied between Kenya and Uganda, because today I saw in the print media how the Minister of Agriculture was lamenting how they cannot take some of our products like milk. Yet the treaty was supposed to address the issue of the common market. So, Right Honorable Speaker, on that one, East African Common Market, and who manages our national policy, may this House be honored to get a statement and be informed about how we can rate these countries. I thank you.
Thank you.
Number 2.
Just one is enough. So many for her
No,
question.
I have another issue. I said this issue had 2 parts.
Okay.
And this one is in the constitution provision, and which is the Article 21 of the Constitution, that is against the discrimination of some citizens, because all of us are equal before the law. In Kisoro, we have the people under the 3rd schedule of our Constitution, who are the Watwa, and they are number 35. These people are Ugandans, they are not refugees, but they are discriminated against. And the people we represent, deserve to get an answer as to why the Pygmies or the Batwa can continue being discriminated, and they are now becoming a danger to society. Right, Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Take note. Honorable Tony Awanyi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for having given me this opportunity. For the record, my name is Tony Awanyi, MP representing the people of Nwaya County. Right Honorable Speaker and members, as a matter of national importance, I wish to bring to the attention of the House that there is an outbreak of foot and mouth disease in the village of Funupamino Ward, Patira Parish, Korango Sub-County in Nwaya District. 5 major kraals consisting of about 1,500 herds of cattle are at the risk of being decimated. Already 35 animals have died, with hundreds infected. There are already some cases of disease reported to be in Anaka Town Council, the seat of the district headquarters. We implore the intervention of the concerned Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to intervene and vaccinate all the cattle and treat the affected animals expeditiously. Right Honorable Speaker, 2 weeks ago, another issue of national importance was raised by my brother, Honorable Gilbert Olanyang, about the marauding and ravaging elephants moving from Magician Falls National Park. Right Honorable Speaker, we bring this to the attention of the House and to the attention of the Right Honorable Prime Minister to try to cause it to the concerned ministry to try to get some mitigation measures about the ravaging animals, elephants. Already, the farmers are complaining of extensive damage that has been caused by the marauding elephants. They have gone as far as Amuro in the neighboring district, and there is a concern that coupled with the bad weather, these elephants are going to cause much more havoc to the crops that have been planted. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit and request that the Right Prime Minister tries to come up with some statement on this matter. Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister, Prime Minister, that's for you. Honorable Namubiru Margaret, Wabushaija. Namubiru Margaret. Honorable Kelo Nelson. Okelo Nelson.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. I rise up in accordance.
Please speak up, speak up.
I rise up as per Rule 54 of the Parliament of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Okelo Nelson, speak up.
thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. I rise up in accordance with Rule 54
of the parliamentary rules of the Republic of Uganda. Right, Honorable Speaker, first of all, I want to thank government for creating road connectivity and improving the accessibility in northern Uganda in particular. Right, Honorable Speaker, however, in Laos sub-region, particularly Apache, road connectivity in terms of paved road network has been a problem.
Honorable Prime Minister, the Member of Parliament is going to put his question in writing.
Right,
Then you put your question in writing and forward it to the Honorable Prime Minister. And we can have Honorable Kahunde Helen.
Right, Honorable Speaker, Apache is one of the oldest districts in Uganda, but has never benefited from any kilometer of paved road networks. Right, Honorable Speaker, in 2020, November or October, His Excellency the President commissioned Wenkunye Apache Lira Purana Road, totaling to about 191 kilometers. To be upgraded from class C,
I have already
gravel
told you
road.
to put your question in writing. Can we have the next item?
Yeah, my question is
Next item. Next item.
Item number 4, presentation, consideration, and adoption of the report of the Parliamentary Task Force on the National COVID-19 Response.
right, Honorable Speaker. Okay.
Honorable Katuntu. Honorable members, I still have issues of national importance. We are going to handle them. Let's first hear this.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, last week you did direct that this matter should be put on the order paper such that the task force presents its report today. As I informed you, Right Honorable Speaker, the teams that had gone in the field were coming back over last weekend, and that's what happened. On Monday, Right Honorable Speaker, we are supposed to interact with the ministers of health, finance, and gender. Unfortunately, all the ministers said that was a cabinet day, they were not available. We thought we'd meet them on Tuesday. They said they had other prior engagements. Right Honorable Speaker, the day they gave us to be available such that we have the exit meeting was yesterday, Wednesday. The Minister of Health wrote to us and said she'll be ready with her team at 9 o'clock. However, yesterday they had the National COVID Task Force meeting and she managed to come at 3 p.m. We did meet with the Honorable Minister from 3 p.m. up to 7:30, 8 p.m. It was not possible, therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, to have a report ready between 8 p.m. yesterday and this afternoon. We therefore Why don't you listen? Who said there is a report?
Members, why don't you listen? He has not finished his statement. He's still giving you a preamble of it.
Right Honorable Speaker, I think there is a challenge of hearing because of the rain. I don't know whether this is slightly better. Well, if you are the chairperson of a COVID task force and you are the one removing the mask, I don't know what sort of example you would be giving to the others. Right Honorable Speaker, as I was saying, that we had our exit meeting yesterday with the Minister of Health, starting at 3 p.m. and ended 8 p.m. in the night. It was not possible, therefore, to do our final tidings to the committee report. The committee report, therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, will be ready within the next 2 days. Whether it is Monday or Tuesday, Right Honorable Speaker shall be ready to present our report. But I have to emphasize, Right Honorable Speaker, when we embarked on this task, we didn't know how enormous it would be. But colleagues, it is turned out to be quite a big task. I therefore request, Right Honorable Speaker, if you put us on the order paper, we may need 2 hours, a minimum, to present the report. 2 hours, a minimum of 2 hours to present the report, because it covers the entire country, plus what is happening at the national level. If we are going to have other items on the agenda, I don't think my colleagues will do justice to that report. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. We shall be ready in 2 days. Right Honorable Speaker, you can give us any other day.
Thank you so much, Honorable Katuntu. We now push the report to Tuesday. Next item.
Procedure, Speaker. Procedure, Speaker.
Item number
This
6,
side, government side, yes.
Prime Minister's time.
Right Honorable Speaker, this was not a normal committee. It was a committee, in your wisdom, that was constituted to handle a very matter of emergency in nature. For us to allow the 2 days, we're aware that tomorrow is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to Tuesday. Right Honorable Speaker, a lot of issues would have arisen, and the report itself, bearing in mind the dynamics, the dynamism of the COVID-19, this report will be stale. I'm afraid it could be overtaken by events. Number 2, we're aware that even the executive arm, the president, is also making efforts to address the same. It is critical that this report is tabled so that the president can have an official record, such that when he's communicating to the country, it is a synchronized assessment of the situation, so that the efforts of the committee are not in vain. This parliament is contributing to the wellness of this country. We are all trying to find out how we can overcome this COVID-19 scourge. And the very matter that a lot of things are happening in the morning, happening in the evening. I bet if the chair takes this committee to Tuesday, it will be overtaken by events and the report will be stale, and therefore we shall need another report again. So I beg your indulgence, Right Honorable Speaker, and the chair of the committee.
Honorable Sechkubo, the report will not be stale. That's number one. COVID will have not stopped. COVID is still there. 3, if we have people who have made any mistake, we will take them on. The law is there. So the aspect of being stale is not an issue. If the report is not ready, what do you want them to present? Can we go to the next item? Next item.
Item number 6.
You can respond.
Next item.
Item 6, Prime Minister's time.
Do I have the floor, Right Honorable Speaker?
Honorable Sechkubo, I thought you're a senior member of this house. And you should be the one to train the rest of the people on how to handle the proceedings in the house. So we are saying the next item, unless you are the Prime Minister. It's Prime Minister's time under Rule 41(3).
Most obliged, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. So please have a seat, my Sechi.
I thought I'd caught your eye.
Yes. Members, I said the other day, kindly stop sending me cheats. Corona is very real. If you want to bring a matter of national importance, come and register in my office. If I don't read your cheat, don't say I don't like you, but I'm not going to read them. Prime Minister,
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency the Vice President, honorable colleagues. I'm ready with the answers. I'm just waiting for members to question me and then I come here.
members,
Those that submitted their questions know themselves. This time around, we got 6 questions, Your Right Honorable Speaker. One question came from Kawalia Abubakar of Rubaga.
Honorable Kawalia. Honorable Kawalia Abubakar of Rubaga. Read your question the way you wrote it.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First one, to Rule 41 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, through the Clerk to Parliament, I hereby submit my question due to the Prime Minister's question time. Madam Speaker, the Traditional Rulers Act of 1993 returned assets and properties stipulated in its schedule to traditional rulers. The Act specified that those not included in the schedule be returned following negotiations between government and traditional rulers. In the case of Uganda Kingdom, the properties meant for negotiation for return by the then included the 9,000 square miles, the 1,500 square miles of forests, and the 160 square miles of the official estates at county and sub-county headquarters all over Uganda, which were impounded by the central government in 1967 and vested in the Uganda Land Commission. In the Uganda National Land Policy released in 2013, it was emphasized that it is necessary to expedite the conclusion of this legal process based on agreed principles with the central government, not only for Uganda, but for all kingdoms, including Bunyoro and Busoga, that had not put forward demands. My question to the Prime Minister, who according to Article 1082A of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda is the lead of government business in Parliament and responsible for coordination and implementation of government policies across ministries, departments, and other public institutions, is that how far has government reached on this commitment and legal process? I beg to submit.
Right Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency the Vice President and honorable colleagues, government is determined to redress the injustice that the confiscated of the items and properties of the kingdom and traditional rulers of 1967 represented. The NRM government in 1993 enacted the Traditional Rulers Act, Cap 247. The purpose of the act was to restore the traditional rulers' assets and properties previously owned by them, all connected with, all attached to their offices, but which had been confiscated by the state, and to make other provisions relating or incidental to or consequential upon the foregoing. Right Honorable Speaker, consequently, Section 2, Subsection 1 of the Traditional Rulers Act, Cap 247, provided for the return or transfer of any asset or property previously confiscated by the state from all in respect of or in relation to any traditional ruler under the Constitution of the 1967 to the ruler on the commencement of the act without any further assurance than the act. For the case of Uganda, Right Honorable Speaker, the assets and the properties to be vested in the traditional ruler for some estate or interest, as was then held by Uganda Land Commission on the commencement of the act, were listed in the schedule under subsection 4 of the subsection 4 or section of the act. Subsection 5 provided that in the case of traditional rulers, other than the traditional ruler of Uganda, the government would hold negotiations with the traditional rulers concerned with a view to returning to them such assets and properties as may be agreed. Right Honorable Speaker, subsection 6 provided that the foregoing provision, subsection 5, applied to the traditional ruler of Uganda in respect of any asset or property other than those specified in the schedule to the Act. Finally, subsection 7 provided that where it would be agreed to transfer any asset or property to a traditional ruler under subsection 5 or subsection 6, 1 would apply to the asset or property with effect from the date approved in the agreement. Honorable Speaker, the said schedule to the Act listed the following assets and properties for the immediate return to the traditional ruler of Uganda. 1, the Bulange. 2, the Rubirio at Mengo. 3, the Butikiro. 4, the Buganda Court Building. 5, the Kabaka's official 350 square miles of land. 6, the Namasole's 10 square miles of land. 7, Banarinya's land. 8, Kabaka's Lake. 9, former Omulamuzi and the Omuwanika's official residence of Mengo. 10, land adjacent to Rubiri on which Free Buganda ministerial houses used to stand. 11, all Basekabaka's tombs. 12, Buganda Works building at Kakeka. 13, Basima House, and 14, Narinya's house at Rubaga. As per subsections 5 and 6, the rest of the assets and properties were to be returned on the basis of the outcome of negotiations held between the government and the traditional ruler of Uganda. That Honorable Speaker, accordingly, on 1st August 2013, following negotiations between the government of Uganda, led by H.E. the President, and the Uganda Kingdom, led by the Kabaka of Uganda, a memorandum of agreement, the agreement was concluded between the two sides pertaining the return to the Kabaka, the former estates of Uganda Kingdom. Under Clause A1, the government agreed to return to the Kabaka of Uganda. A, land in urban centers, stroke towns. B, land where the former administration headquarters, that is to say, Gomborolas and Masazas were situated. C, land not claimed or utilized or occupied by any lawful or bona fide occupant as defined in the 1995 Constitution and the Land Act in the rural and peri-urban areas. Where a rural or peri-urban area was occupied by many people who did not qualify as lawful bona fide or lawful or bona fide occupants, the government and the Kabaka would negotiate amicably, agree on the manner of handling the occupants, such as government compensating the Kabaka. The land on Mitiana Road, that is the Geza Farm, and former Uganda Kingdom markets. The government also agreed to compensate the Kabaka for land comprised in plot 52 Kampala Road and Mutesa House in London. That is the 42 Queen's Garden Road, London, SW. And to return or compensate the Kabaka for properties that formerly belonged to the kingdom but were transferred to government. All the above properties were to be verified by the relevant government agencies before their transfer to the Kabaka, or compensation as affected. Finally, the government was to pay to the Kabaka a total sum of 20,389,000 206,000 in agreement as agreed installments to cover all the rental areas, dues, court awards, interest, accrued, etc. This amount, however, was to be verified by government ministries or agencies or a team that was set up by both parties to the agreement before payment was effected. Government was, however, to immediately mobilize 2 billion as part payment, which it indeed mobilized and paid to the Kabaka upon the signature of the agreement. Right, Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank the NRM government because by the end of 2014, a total of 312 certificates of titles had been handed over to the Buganda Kingdom by HE the President to the particular. These have been acknowledged by the Kingdom. In addition, the government between 2013 and 2015 paid to the Kabaka a total of 14 billion out of the documented 20 billion 389 206,000 towards arrears, premiums, dues, court awards, and interest that had accrued since the date of the agreement. Further, pursuant to clause A3 of the agreement, the government in 2018 constituted on an interministerial committee on the implementation of the agreement. The interministerial committee on 10th of April 2018 established a technical and a verification team to assist it in verifying the Uganda Kingdom claims and to come up with a recommendation. The interministerial committee comprises of the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Minister of Land, Housing and Urban Development, the Attorney General, and the Minister of Local Government. On the other hand, the technical and verification team is wider and comprises of representatives from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Ministry of Land and Urban Development, the Attorney General Chambers, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Health, the Judiciary, Ministry of Education and Sports, Uganda Police Force, Uganda Prison Service, the National Water and Sewerage Corporation. The team was given the following terms of reference. A, to verify Buganda Kingdom claims and make recommendations to government. B, to identify government MDAs occupying land belonging to the Buganda Kingdom. C, to demand documents regarding the Buganda Kingdom claims and cause compliance from all MDAs. D, to handle any other matter incidental to the claims of Buganda Kingdom and to accomplish the task within 1 month and in any case not later than 15th of May 2018 and submit a report to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. The technical and verification team verified certain assets and submitted an interim report dated 18th July 2018 with recommendations to the interministerial committee. Based on the report, the government between 2018 and 2020 paid a total sum of 18 billion 700 million towards the compensation of plot 52 Kabaka Road, that is King Fahad Plaza, and plot 42 Queen's Garden Road, London, that is Mutesa House, which left a balance of 33 billion 361 million 825 200 that the government should be able to pay once the economic situation normalizes after the COVID pandemic. That Honorable Speaker, allow me to inform you of the present status. The present status is that there is an outstanding verified debt of 33,361,825,200 that the government will clear once the situation normalizes. 2, that there is a number of certificates of the title whose verification is ongoing. The challenge has been the nature of the land involved in view of the passage of time since their confiscation. While the land exists, there are people that occupy this land other than the government. The government, as indicated above, has already returned those under its control. The government is intent on regularizing its occupancy of various Uganda Kingdom lands through either paying rent or obtaining leases as recommended by the Technical and Verification Committee. These institutions include the judiciary, Uganda prisons, Uganda police, Uganda People's Defense Forces, local government schools, under the Ministry of Education. The survey.
Prime Minister, procedure matter.
Thank you.
I was about to conclude this.
Thank you. Right, Honourable Speaker.
I think there is a problem with the microphone.
Thank you. Right, Honourable Speaker. Right, Honourable Prime Minister, this is for your good. We are not understanding, we are not hearing you clearly. I request, Right, Honourable Speaker, let the technical team work on the speakers. The wording are not clear and members are not understanding well.
I think it's a problem of the rain.
No, not necessarily rain, Right, Honourable Speaker. You know, for the speaker, it has nothing to do with rain.
Clark,
Let our technical team really do their work.
Clark, can you check what is the problem? If people are not hearing.
But members are saying they are hearing. Right, Honourable Speaker, the survey and the opening of boundaries of Chigo land will soon be carried out by the Ministry of Lands as recommended by the Technical and Verification team. The Technical and Verification team shall complete its work and submit its final report to government as soon as the condition brought about by COVID-19 pandemic is. Right, Honourable Speaker, other kingdoms. On the 2nd September 2019, the government and the Kingdom of Toro entered into an agreement similar to the one with Uganda. The agreement provided for a joint implementation committee or team comprising of representatives of the government and the Toro Kingdom under the chairmanship of the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. The team held preliminary meetings in late 2019 and the early 2020. Honourable Speaker, however, the advent of the pandemic in March 2020 led to the suspension of the activities. Bunyoro and the Busoga kingdoms have also initiated discussions with government. Negotiations with these two will be held as soon as the situation gets better. Honourable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable Kawalia, you've gotten your response.
Madam Speaker, let me first appreciate the Prime Minister, though I'm not satisfied as someone who raised this question. What I expected her is at least to give us a commitment, first on the amount of money that the government of Mengo demands the central government, by using its properties that totals to 147 billion. We expected to receive a commitment from the Prime Minister, which she hasn't. We all understand that the government of Uganda also uses most of the properties that
Yes.
belong to Uganda Kingdom.
There is a procedure matter here.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Rule 41 of our rules of procedure clearly guides us on how the Prime Minister's question time is done. And it does not provide for a debate or the submission of the Prime Minister once he answers the question. So, Right Honorable Speaker, are we moving in the right procedure whereby a member is making supplementary questions on an answer that was clearly answered by the Right Honorable Prime Minister?
Madam Speaker,
Government Chief Whip, supplementary questions are allowed. And if the member wants a clarification, it doesn't cause any harm, because that is an aspect of budgeting. That can be budgeted for. If we want a confirmation of how much money, if we know how much money they are demanding us, it's just seeking for clarification. And supplementary questions are allowed.
Right Honorable Speaker, under Rule 41 of our rules of procedure.
There is a procedure matter here.
Right now, Speaker, the Prime Minister is comfortable listening to the questions given her as supplementary questions. She's not complaining. And indeed, I know Honorable Banja is interested in settling these questions. Now, the Chief Whip wants to usurp the power of the Prime Minister. Is it in order to come in where the Prime Minister is comfortably ready to answer our supplementary questions as per the questions raised by the member? Is he in order right now, Speaker? Because I know Nauna Banja said she's there to sort out these problems. And we are very comfortable with her seated there, ready to answer us. So what is the worry of the Chief Whip at this juncture?
and to add on what Honorable Seung, these concerns have been there for a long
Prime
time.
Minister, Honorable Kawalia just wants a clarification.
Madam
If
Speaker,
maybe he never understood. No, but you have a right to reply. You will reply.
Before the Prime Minister comes.
You will reply. You have a right to reply as a leader of opposition.
But I wanted to hit it when it's still hot.
Okay.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker,
Yes.
if my counterpart, the government chief whip, would want us to microphone. If my counterpart, the government chief whip, would want to demonstrate to us that there should be strict adherence to the rules, then he has not gone through rule 41, sub rule 5. It requires the Prime Minister to have made her responses copied, written responses copied to the relevant member, which she has not. That's why the member is even complaining. Here he is.
Speaker, I haven't received any copy of the response. Actually, it is also news to me from the Prime Minister herself that she gave me a copy that I haven't seen even from my pigeonhole.
It could have been an oversight.
Madam Speaker, before she responds,
Right, Honorable
when
Speaker.
someone talks about
Right,
the
Honorable Speaker.
147
Right,
billion,
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kawalia, just
Right, Honorable
hear from-
Speaker. I know the procedure is, I submit my responses to the clerk, which I did. So is he really in order for him to start questioning me here when I submitted the responses to the clerk. I am told the document was uploaded because they don't want it. They didn't want members to get physical copies because of COVID. But from Monday, you'll start having your iPads, and I will not want to hear an excuse that I didn't receive.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Prime Minister for elaborately answering these questions. But my supplementary question, Honorable Speaker, you see, Madam Speaker, Buganda Kingdom's assets were taken by the regime by that time. And they were taken at once. But right now, Prime Minister, what is happening now? You are doing what we call piecemeal returning. If you steal my clothes, why do you start by giving me a shirt? After the other election, you give me a pair of trousers, yet you know I'm demanding you. Honorable Madam Speaker, Buganda is demanding central government 147 billions out of rent. Then there is money they're supposed to compensate. All this money, the Prime Minister is not mentioning it. As a Vice Chairman of Committee of Government Assurance and Implementation, I want to hear from the Prime Minister on this floor of Parliament that Buganda Kingdom, Buganda establishment, government is going to return and pay back all this money and we get it as a government assurance on this floor of Parliament, as it was stated sometime back by the Minister. So, Madam Prime Minister, can you give us an assurance that Buganda Kingdom is going to get back all its assets, not in a piecemeal, plus all the money it's demanding from you in the next financial year? Can you make it as a government assurance?
Honorable Sengo, one thing you need to appreciate that we have priorities in this government. And among the priorities, Buganda property is one of them. So at least you're getting, even if it is in the piecemeal, at least you're getting. What is important is to get it. But you'll get another kingdom which will say we have never got. So the next question, Honorable Babaru Lilian Obaile. Honorable Paparu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm called Paparu Lilian Obiale, woman member of Parliament, Arua District. Right Honorable Speaker, when you access West Nile from Pakwach, we use two routes. One is through Karuma Pakwach, the other is through Masindi Pakwach, via Tara. Right Honorable Speaker, as of now, a new bridge was constructed along Masindi Pakwach Road, and this road was opened for use by the public. Right Honorable Speaker, this road passes through Kavalega or Matson Falls. However, Right Honorable Speaker, the people who use this road right now are being charged even when they are on transit. A person passing along that road is charged 20,000 shillings, that is per head, and vehicles are charged 30,000 shillings. In summary, when you are 3 or 4 in a vehicle, you end up paying 80,000 with the vehicle, with the vehicle charge, you pay 110,000 shillings on transit. If you're a regular traveler, that means every weekend when you travel, you part with over 100,000 shillings. But there are similar roads that pass through national parks, and those on transit are not necessarily charged, except those who are on tourism. So I request the line ministry to clarify for us why the people are charged to use this public road, yet it is even a shorter route to access West Nile. Right Honorable Speaker, following the creation of cities, some districts, the remnant districts, remained to operate. A case in point is the Arua district that is currently having its headquarters in Arua City. This has made services more expensive because the headquarters is